Hey everyone, this is Coach Precious Jimenez, your host for today's episode as we celebrate the United Nations World Science Day for Peace and Development. I feel privileged that I belong to a sector that is sport, where science is a potent tool to perfect its movement and performance. As a basketball athlete for years, having had played for Colegio de San Francisco during my high school years and honored to be awarded twice as its Athlete of the Year in 2009, I believe early on that scientific training, technology, and approaches are what it takes to perfect a skill and a big factor to becoming a champion in sport. Coaching basketball during my teen years to becoming today's coach in Junior NBA Philippines and several collegiate teams since 2011, and which includes being a strength and conditioning coach since 2009, has brought me a lot of realizations that coaching is a never-ending learning process. Yes, establishing credibility and confidence as a coach requires a champion mindset. And to develop this, the science of sport and movement is an indispensable factor. But to be completely fulfilled, it is necessary that a champion mindset has to transcend from sport to life. In today's episode, we are featuring some significant snippets of the discussion and sharing of Coach Henry Saw during the recent Women Coaching and Leadership Training and Seminar organized by the Philippine Sports Commission Women in Sports. Coach Henry Saw is the author and creator of the Champion's Mindset. He finished BS in Actuarial Science from the University of Oklahoma, a multi-medaled international tennis champion since 1998. Henry is a Master Pro Level 3 of Australia Tennis Professional Coaches Association. He is also its International Director of Strength and Conditioning, among his long string of renowned sports coaching records. Before I give to you Coach Henry, let's relax and listen to Commissioner Celia Kiram for another inspiring kwento about the origin and history of the word coach.
Ang aking babahaging kwento sa inyo ngayon ay ang mga nakakawiling kaalaman tungkol sa pinagmulaan ng salitang coach. Ang salitang coach ay nagsimula sa Little Hungarian Plains ng hilagang kanluran Hungary sa nayon ng coach. Noong ika-15 siglo, ang nayon ng coach ay nabuhay mula sa paggawa ng mga kariton at pagdadala ng mga kalakal sa pagitan ng Vienna at Budapest. Sa panahong ito, nakagawa ng mas malaki, mas komportableng karwahe ang coach at tinawag itong coche tractor, isang wagon at coach na pinaikling kotse. Sa sumunod na siglo, ang kotse ay naging tanyag at kinopya sa buong Europa. Ang pangalan ay naging coche sa German, coche sa French, at coach sa English naman. Mula sa pangalan ng village kung saan ginawa ang mga carriage, ay nagmula ang lahat ng stage coaches, motor coaches, at air coaches. Alam niyo ba na ang salitang coach ay unang ginamit sa edukasyon at hindi sa athletics? Noong ika-18 siglo, ginamit ito bilang slang sa Oxford University para sa isang tutor na naging coach dahil mabilis at komportableng dinala ng mga tutor ang mga mag-aaral sa kanilang layunin na makapasa sa kanilang mga pagsusulit. Ang mga athletic coach ay kilala bilang coachers hanggang sa huling bahagi ng 1880s nang ang pangalan ay naging coaches. Ang coaching ay sinasabi din na isang particular na uri ng pag-uusap sa pagitan ng coach at team o empleyado na tinuturuan. Pinapadali ng mga coach ang pagkamit ng layunin at nagbibigay aksyon upang mas mahusay na makamit ang ninanais na mga resulta. At dyan nagwawakas ang kwento tungkol sa salitang coach. Muli, ito ang inyong Commissioner Kiram na walang sawang maghahatid ng kwentong kababaihan, kwento para sa kaalaman at karunungan sa sport.
Not at your best? You may be dehydrated. You need Pocari Sweat. It replaces the electrolytes you've lost and helps you perform at your best. Be at your best with Pocari Sweat. Pocari Sweat.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Kiram, for that valuable information. Now, we would like to welcome you to the exciting discussion and sharing about champion mindset from no less than Coach Henry Saw. We would like to inform everyone that what you will be watching here for the next 45 minutes is an extract from the 3-day seminar brought to you by Coach Henry Saw. An edited but longer version of this seminar will be posted at Rise Up, Shape Up YouTube account.
During COVID, it was all locked down for me. I'm a coach with tennis background. So when they locked down the tennis courts, this is what I created, hopefully to help give back to our community because our community helped us a lot. They give us a lot of help and resources to gain our results and our achievements. So I wanted to give back, especially in this difficult time. I think there's one type of people that every day they face challenges. Every day they push themselves to go break through the challenges in front of them. And they always win. So what kind of people are they? Well, those are they're called champions, right? So champions every day, especially like sporting champions, they wake up every day. The first objective they do is, I need to reach my goals. This is what I'm going to do. There's no excuses. I got to get things done. If I don't, I lose or I might get second place. And nobody, remembers second place. Let's just be honest, okay? So everybody wants to be a champ. So there's one thing parallel to common to all champions is they all have champions mindset. They all have these mindset qualities common to them all, no matter what discipline or what sport you're doing. In our busy world, okay, we have everybody has a challenge every day. Every day we want to excel, we want to keep improving, we want to keep moving forward. Challenge to be the best we can be. So in every day there is pressures from work, pressures from school. Everybody has relationship issues, health issues, financial difficulties. It's never easy to deal with it day in and day out. Remember, champions are just people. They're not superheroes, they're just people. But they're people that are willing to do the simple things over and over again. Okay, let me say this again. We do simple things over and over and over and again. Okay, a lot of the times you see people do things and then they do things one time, two times for a little while, and then they stop. Right? Is that correct? So let's say in the chat box, if you guys have experienced this before, people do this, they do it for one day, 1 week, 1 month, and then they drop off. But sometimes you got to understand it takes a year to build something. So remember, are you willing, is how much you're willing to do. So do something that you love. And from young age, we tell children that, yeah, you do whatever you love, and make sure, you can be as big as you like, you can do whatever, you can be the greatest, you can do whatever you like. But then when people start to get older, right? Do you think that when they get older, people are like, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do this. No. What happened there, right? So unfortunately, when people become older, the environment, right, affects them. Yeah. So you got to make sure to have a champion's mindset. You don't let those things affect you, and you keep pursuing it. Yeah. Super, super important. So I see a friend in the chat box. She wrote she wakes up 6:30 to do your workout. That's super cool. Yeah. I think it's Selena's. Is it Madil? Yeah. You can actually live that workout. Yeah. And show people that you're doing it to inspire other people. Don't even think about getting something in return yet, but you can share this to people and inspire other people. And that's already a great thing already, because as you guys probably know, a law of attraction in the world is if you share it, it's going to come back to you. So when you wake up, do your workout, you can actually share that. That's super cool. Yeah. All right. So second thing is our society is filled with negativity. So much. Actually, if you're not strong, it's so easy to be affected. Since I've joined the Hong Kong Psychology the Association of Psychology, I know there's actually a lot of people here. I'm sure everywhere is the same in the world. Everywhere is the same. Yeah? They have depression. Right? Now, some people are stronger, some people are weaker. But if you can have this strong mindset, champion's mindset, we just call it, you can push away those things. It's going to be there. That negative stuff is being there, but you ignore it and you focus on the positive. Champion's mindset leads to a winning mindset. Okay, so let's say this: you control what you can. So let's not put winning or losing as something that you can control. It's not something you can control. You can control what you do. You let the winning or losing take care of itself. Yeah. So I'll put that in first. So we just label it as champion's mindset because our inspiration is from champions. How's that? So this is the answer to the question that's in the chat box. Yeah. So it's very important to get it right. It's from you. You're controlling you. You can draw inspiration from other people. You control yourself first, and then you will get the best result that you can do that may lead you to winning. Sometimes losing is a win. You're like, what? Okay. Because if you don't lose, you don't learn something that will help you to win later. Yeah. So that's a good example. It's happened to me many times. You gotta make sure that you learn from every loss, so you're still winning even when you're losing. So here is a tip for you guys here. So there's many tips, of course. I'm just trying, like I said, I'm trying to make a difficult thing very simple. I don't like things very complicated because there's no point. Make it simple. So if you pursue your dream, you're going to work harder because you're passionate about it. Okay. If you're tired, you would like, okay, let's do that a little bit more because I need to do it, and maybe I'll just get a sip of water and I'm back. Okay. But if you're not passionate about it, forget it. I'll do it next time. That's if you're pursuing someone else's dream, right? So make sure it's from you. Okay? If you pursue your dream, then you are in control. You are in control, and you're not under someone else's command. So an example easier to understand is, okay, if you're working for somebody, I mean, unless you have a super cool boss, okay? If you have a cool boss, then this doesn't apply to you. If you have a great leader, boss that looks after you, that's great. But not everybody, unfortunately, has a great boss. And you're working for someone, and you're working for their dream, right? I usually support everyone to be entrepreneur. So you run your own business, you run your own thing, you run your own dream. Just to share, I don't know if Coach Pat is watching right now. In COVID, really bad situation. But I'll tell you 4 types of people in my region, they change jobs, right? Hostesses become English teachers. People start to sell insurance. People start to sell houses. And then the 4th type is people become sports coach. Okay, because you can teach somebody to do a sport and it doesn't require any, things. Now what happens is, hi, Coach Pat, you're still there. In COVID, okay, the numbers for our coaches certification for tennis was off the chart. Like, I mean, never was this many coaches. We graduated so many coaches to teach people to become a coach on behalf of Australia. So just to share with everybody who are not tennis people, it's just we teach people how to be a tennis coach. And in COVID, we help many people, chase their dream, become an entrepreneur that don't have to work for someone else's dream. Yeah, I really unless again I repeat is, if you have a great boss, that's different. Okay, if they look after you, they're a great leader, then that's okay. We might be having both together working towards one dream. That's okay. That's a different situation. But in this situation here, like, I really want everyone to drive home is the message is work for your own dream. Okay. In business terms, is you're an entrepreneur. Right? You work harder than anybody else. And also the third thing is you won't have any regrets. The worst thing is having regrets. And I've been very lucky to have a lot of mentors tell me this, so it's just been drilled into me. So when I have a thought, I go do it, and I do it the best I can so that I don't hold myself accountable. I do have some regret, but those regrets are sort of like memories, not really regret. They're positive memories, which I can't go back and do those happy things again. You know what I mean? Those aren't actually like, regrets. It's just, I can't go back to my scholarship days. I can't go back to my tour days on tour, professional tour. Those kind of positive things are okay, but really negative regrets, we don't want that for anybody. So make sure you work hard to chase your dreams. So this is those 3 tips I want to share with you guys in regards to pursue your own dream. That's so super important. That's the first thing that you got to remember, because the tips after, I hope I have enough time to cover all this stuff. Time after, especially in the toolbox part, will really test you. Are you really working your dream? Okay. All right. Power of motivation, and we have our rowing champ. She was a medalist. I don't know which one. Sorry, but she was definitely Hong Kong champ for rowing. Now, motivating. Okay, motivation is a lot to do with how people say stuff and makes you do things. It influences you to keep moving in your direction. Right? It's very important to motivate from within yourself. Okay? At the beginning, it's fine. You can go on YouTube. YouTube has so much motivational videos. You have a library. It's free. It's great. No matter whether someone else motivate you or you motivate yourself, it's still a good start because you're still moving in your direction. But you got to move in your direction. Like, every day you got to be moving one step towards your direction, towards the mission that you set. Now, what happens is the biggest difference, so is when the pressure comes, okay? When we call it clutch time, right? Crunch time. If it's from outside, then you're prone, from my experience, is you're prone to break, okay? But if it's from you, you're like, no, let's go. You'll find something from within, and it needs to be trained. So the bottom line is every day look to have motivation from yourself. Okay? You can still every day drive motivation from outside and get someone to motivate you. But if you can drive it from within, which we call intrinsic, okay, it's from the athlete themselves. You start to train that muscle, then the result will be more. That's just my sharing for you guys. Okay. Of course, again, there's no right or wrong. Okay. Maybe say when there's pressure, you put in earphones and you can go on YouTube and then you can go and compete. But you can listen to stuff. But at the end of the day, from my experience, intrinsic from you is stronger. Now, again, if it's from you, you can also use it to drive other people, help other people as well. So that's another benefit, side effect as well. So at the beginning, you might have to need both to combine to help you to become, get stronger and start heading towards the champ's direction. But at the end, really try to seek a way to find it from within. Okay. Now, you gotta find a way to love your hard work. If you love it, then your motivation comes easy because you like it, right? And something to help me is I know the hard work is going to contribute to the success, then I'll do it, right? Let's just be honest. Nobody likes the hard work for no reason, right? If you're doing something and it's really hard work, but it's effective, you go do it, right? So let's say in chat box, right? If I told you you run for 100 days, right? Non-stop, 100 days, each day run 10K, and you get $1 million. 100 days. How many would do it? Right? I would do it. You say 100 days. Actually, I've done my thing for so many days. I don't even know. Yeah. But if I told you you run 100 days and you maybe get something, you probably wouldn't do it, right? So if your hard work, you gotta tell yourself your hard work is going to contribute to your win greatly, then you would do it. And you gotta keep telling yourself that. That's one type of motivation that I've experienced, and it helps me a lot. So also to be optimistic, right? Look to always if you're optimistic, then you're more positive about outcomes. Right? If you're always letting the negative stuff affect you, or maybe it's going to be this and maybe it's going to be that, then you're not really fully confident. Then that's going to affect you during pressure, okay? And you might break under pressure. So a comment in the chat box says, Filipinos usually motivated with rewards. You're right, and I think it's not just you guys. I think everybody is, yeah. But you got to tell yourself that, okay? Now you're like, yeah, but the thing is, if you tell yourself that, sometimes you have to write it out. If you write it out, it helps, because if you say it and if you write it, it makes a big difference. Sometimes if you just think it, it's not that firm, yeah. So that's just another tip for you guys. I write a lot of stuff, and I type a lot of stuff. I film a lot of stuff. So even when I'm testing a new system now, and I'm making live video to test it. If I cannot be confident in doing it and speak it, then it's not gonna work, right? So that's an example. So yeah, if you can tell yourself the rewards, and if that's what it takes, go ahead and do it. So now the third one is again self-talk. So self-talk. So right here now, who talks to themselves, right? I talk to myself a lot. I'm sure everybody, all the sports athletes do. If you don't, okay, you need to, right? Because if you cannot be your own friend to support yourself at any time and it's free, then you can't expect other people to help you. Okay. I have a question here. Okay, Coach Henry, maybe regulating and professionalizing coaching in the Philippines is going to be a challenge to a shift from having a champion's mindset. Okay, let me read that again. Maybe regulating and professionalizing coaching is going to be a challenge. It's going to be a challenge to shift from. Okay, you might have to explain your question, my friend. Joel, is it Joel? Yeah. So let's rephrase. Yeah, let's explain your question a little bit further. I don't quite get what you're trying to ask, but okay. So I'm just gonna assume I know what you're saying. Everything's a challenge, man. You know. So for example, champs. Like again, I've got nothing against second place or third place. I've got nothing against second place and third place. But the thing is, champ, there's only one. There's only one. And it's a challenge. It's always going to be a challenge to be the top. Yeah. Whether you do business or sport or whatever, academics. Okay. By the way, I'm a natural science major, so unfortunately I was on a full ride to the US. We had the whole team fighting for the one scholarship, and I got it. It's a challenge, man. I went to everyday practice without fail, even when I'm sick. So they'll say, is that a challenge? I'm just using that as an example. Everything's going to be a challenge, but if it's because it's a challenge, then you need to go do it. Because if it's that challenging, not everybody will do it. Okay, let's think about that, for example. The more crazy the idea, the more challenging it is, the more meaning for you to do it. Does everybody get what I mean? Okay, so let's have everybody chat box give me a response here. Okay, let me repeat that. If it's more crazy the idea, it's more challenging, the tougher it is, the more meaning for you to do it. Because when you do it, not everyone's gonna do it, right? You can achieve it, then you champ. Then if it's so easy and everybody can do it, there's no point. There's no point, you know. Nobody remember you, you know. So that's why it's so addicting for you guys to go and push towards your goals every day, no matter what your goal is, because it's difficult, right? And not everybody can do it. You go and achieve it. Like, you know, I have a huge respect for PhDs. I mean, I just have a huge thing for PhDs, maybe because I'm not one, right? Okay. So, because it takes a lot of hard work and a lot of it's a lot of discipline to get it done. So maybe I'll go and work one day. Maybe, you never know. But the thing is with me, I would do a lot of research first. This is a side sharing for you guys. I would do a lot of research first and think about if that goal is achievable before I set the goal. If I set the goal, I'm pretty much 95% achieving it. That's how I set goals. I was taught by my trainer one day. So this is a good tip. If you guys like that one, I can tell me in the chat box. The way we set goals is not, oh, I said it and oh, maybe I can do it. No, I've done my research. I'm going to think about if that's a worthy goal for me to set. Once I set, boom, I'm 95% I'm going to get it. Why I say 95, 5%, some of the things are just unpredictable, you know, unfortunate things, yeah? Like COVID, right? Okay, so let's keep going for discipline. We got to be disciplined. So here is our bodybuilding physique champ. He's physique, so he's not the super huge ones. So the ladies might like this part because he's posing with his shirt off. But so the discipline is the ability to control yourself to do what is right even when it doesn't feel good. Okay. For the, you know, I know there's I don't know how many kids here, like, you know, Friday night, you got a party, you got to go, but you're here doing your training, you're here doing your study, you're here doing your, even if it's rest still is a part of training because on Saturday you've got a match, right? Early night sleep, get enough rest, that's discipline. Yeah. It's not easy to do it because sometimes peer pressure and etc. etc. But I'll tell you something though. If you discipline and then you achieve that trophy, you get that trophy or you achieve the win or you become a champ, all the other people start saying, oh, that's fantastic, you're so good, but they didn't know that you had to give up, you have to be disciplined, give up, make those sacrifices before you do that, right? Yeah, there was sometimes most of the people say, it's okay, one time party, it's okay, or maybe one time go out and you know, but you know what I mean? You got to make the decision to no, I gotta do this, and this is what's gonna sidetrack me and not help me towards that goal, right? All right. Okay, so I just see a message pop up. Okay. Thank you, Coach Henry. It was inspiring. It's a really challenge for us to change. Okay, please tell me if I'm wrong, okay, Joe. I want to make sure I get your name right. And message above there is, takes a lot of hard work and discipline to make your challenges be done. Yes, you are so correct. Jeannie upstairs, yeah. Okay. Now Joe's message, you're so true and it's so difficult. Why am I saying it like this is because I was very different from how I was 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I mean, even 1 year ago, I've just gotten used to telling myself right now, I don't want to be how I am right now. Like I'm talking about my own things, my own projects. I'm not talking about you guys, okay? I'm just sharing with you guys. I'm actually not quite happy with my own stuff. So I'm always looking to find ways to change and to find a better way. To be like this is not easy. I had to change. I had to train to be like this. Does that make sense? I wasn't like this at the beginning. It's easy to be like, okay, I'm like this and I'm doing pretty well. I guess I'm doing pretty well if I'm looking at it from someone else's eyes. But to me, I know when I want to be there. And I'm not talking about money, okay, guys? Okay, I'm talking about, I want to do this so that I can share this message. I'm doing this because I want to achieve that and solve a problem for some people. But in order for me to do that, I've got to be better. So actually it's on me. Right? If I don't change, and it's okay, it's not right or wrong, I can just be what I am right now. And if that's what you want, that's okay. You see what I'm saying? There's no right or wrong. It's right. Are you happy with what you got? If you're not, then you've got to change. If you're not happy with what you got, is it a challenge? Yeah, it's a huge challenge, man. It's not easy, man. So that's what makes it meaningful. Does that make sense, Joe? So if you're happy with what you got, it's fine. You still got to keep going. So it's not easy. So it's a challenge just to keep going. So it's a challenge either way, right? It's a challenge to be remaining where you are, to produce the same kind of quality too. But for me, I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna keep pushing, because if I keep pushing, I'll get the same result, this kind of quality anyway. But I keep trying to find the higher quality. I hope I didn't confuse anybody with that example, but that example helped me a lot. Okay, and I want to say, I don't want to waste you guys' time today. I want to give you everything that I share with you. I've actually done myself. So I want to save you guys time so you can implement. You guys can implement. You don't have to think, oh, does that work? Because I've actually done it. I would never give you guys a tip that never worked for me. That's just how I am. Yeah, so discipline is very important. Sometimes culture, family, environment, and social media, right? Like TikTok, huge influence. If someone else doing that, I better be doing that. So you got to really, like I said, it all drives from all these tips together. You got to know your dream. You got to do this. Discipline. Don't let other people affect you. Sometimes it's family. Okay. Maybe like I said before, they mean well. But in their eyes, they're telling you the best tip. But maybe it's not the best tip for you. So you got to be the decider to keep going in and make sacrifice and be disciplined. Okay. That's why one of the sections is, I think if it's the next one, is finding a mentor, right? I'm not cheating. You'll find a mentor so that it tells you, oh, are you in that direction? Family is not always mentor. Okay. Family is family. That's why you gotta find mentor too. They don't care. Sometimes mentors, sometimes, not all the time, they don't care about your feelings. They let you have it. They tell you straight. Okay. I usually, just the sharing for everybody, I like to have a mentor that don't care about my feelings. They just tell me, like, just let me have it, I don't care. I've got thick skin, it won't hurt my feelings. I don't have feelings, I'm joking. Because if they care about your feelings too much, it's wasting your time, man. Because they don't cut to the chase and tell you what's wrong, right? Sometimes people are, you're so good. You're good at this. I'm like, I'm not good. Don't tell me I'm good. Tell me what's wrong with me, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I see some responses saying thank you, and thank you guys for I know it's a different kind of perspective to handle. But thank you for your listening, and family's family. They care for you, but they're not always giving you the solid hard hit advice that you need. Julie says the greatest challenge in coaching based experience here is parent coaching, relationships, political interests. Okay, so I want to share one thing first. I'm not expert enough to say anything about politics. I'm not expert enough, so I leave politics out. I don't comment about that. As far as parent coach, okay. usually when I coach, I always welcome. Again, this is my sharing. Okay. Sometimes in some situations, you gotta tell the parent to just let me coach, man. You're the parent, let me coach, right? I know it's sometimes you have to do that. I've taken the other approach. Okay, I welcome the parent to come to watch. I welcome the parent to the whole thing. Okay, I share with them. I'm very transparent. You know, as you can see, I'm very energetic. I let them know what's going on so that they know, okay, what they're getting. If they decide to walk away themselves and let Coach Henry handle it, that's their choice. Okay, I see Julie had a comment there about parent and you know, so that's how I handle it. Now I share with you guys. You guys can take it and think, does it make sense? It applies to you. Welcome to use it. And plus there's also the culture here too in my region. If I tell them, hey, I'm the coach and your parent, you know, I do my job. You just let me do my job. It might not go down so well. Now, if I want the same effect, all I want is to be able to coach, right? Let the parents can let me do the coaching, right? But I taken the other approach. I welcome them. I welcome them in the whole thing. If they have enough trust that they walk away and let me do it, then they can decide themselves. That's just my sharing for Julie there. Culture is definitely a huge issue. Yeah, so I've taken the approach where I share everything with them. I overshare, man. You know, I've got a lot of WhatsApp groups and I've got YouTube channel. I make a lot of videos and I share. I mean, of course, the video is not not spam. Okay, I share a lot of videos every day, and it's good material for you and your child and your athlete, whatever. Now, will they watch it? I shared it. I've given you a lot of material. And the first thing you think about, say for example, tennis, you think about me, then that's it. You always have Coach Henry in your mind. Yeah. Whether they have enough trust to just, it's okay. I trust him. I let him do the work. That's actually just what you want, right? So, I use that method to achieve the objective. Okay, guys. Yeah. Coaching is parenting. Okay. So, and plus also, this is a really good tip for everybody. I think it's a good tip that was passed to me. Your positioning as a coach, how you position, okay? That's also in your marketing, okay? I like to position myself as specialist. So I would also attract specialist client. Does that make sense? If you position yourself as, I don't want to sound bad, sorry. If you position yourself as GP, right, family doctor, then you're treating everything. You know what I mean? Okay. Then you get all types of coughs and the flu and you're not getting that type of client. Okay, does that make sense, guys? I need you guys to make sure in the chat box tell me if that's the positioning as a client. So if you position yourself as like esteemed specialist coach, then you attract those who are after that kind of expertise. Then those are easier to coach. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah. So that really helps. And so, okay. So Michelle says, discipline always possess achieving the goals. Equivalent to parenting. Yes. Yeah. I'm in a region that's very intense, very competitive. I'm pretty much the first one that came out saying, I love other coaches. They feel like, what? The other coach will take your students, Henry. I'm like, no, they won't. Because I'm in my own space. Okay. So and then now, because I've come out and said that, I've got a lot of coaches that like Coach Henry too, because I'm really respectful. You can't coach everybody, man. You know what I mean? So if you so I'm just sharing for you guys. So if you position yourself at that type and you coach that type of client, then the other ones just leave it to the other people. I don't want to go through the trouble, you know what I mean? Okay, so yeah, So be a specialist. That's another, and you all are specialists. You all have your own thing, that the area that you know better than most other people. You all do. So you just have to find it and hone in on it. Okay. So in a busy world that, we got to make sure we're disciplined so that we concentrate better. You'll be more perseverance with your actions and behaviors that will eventually help you in your improvement. Okay. And we're not talking about just champions. Nobody's a champion from day one. Okay. We all start from somewhere, but being disciplined will eventually help you be your own champ. Here I say now, you've got to be a champ in your own world, in your own network. Okay. Okay. And then the world gets bigger for you. Everyone has to start somewhere, but definitely overcome your procrastination and laziness. Everybody can very easily, be diverted to, laziness, but then again, that's in different perspective of how lazy you are. That's different. Everybody's different. So sometimes you have your rest time. Everybody should be a little bit lazy a little bit, but don't overdo it, And I see some comments here. As a committed and professional, compassionate coach, you deeply care. Yeah, of course, you definitely care about your team so much, but sometimes we care more than themselves, that's the difficult part, to get them to care as well. As an athlete, coach can change your perspective. And yes, that's very true, and that's from Andrea in the chat box. Okay, so here we share a few. You got to be aware to become disciplined. You'll be really aware on what you spend your time on. I really like this sharing that I'm about to give you. Time, especially now where everyone's got so much time. Don't waste time. Really be aware of what you're spending your time on, and get the maximum effect. Get the maximum effect from it. I like to do things where I've gotten used to it already, so that I like to do one thing where I can achieve like 3 outcomes. Okay, 3 outcomes, and at the same time, then that's really good time management, and that helps to me being more disciplined as well. So if you're disciplined and you can manage your time well, then it's going to be super beneficial for you. So have grit. It's not easy to have that much grit. It's not easy. And there's a book called Grit. I don't know if you guys read it. It's really good. And it talks about how grit is essential for success. From one perspective. Okay, of course, there's many things, not just grit, but they talk about grit. Okay. And Julie says there are parents that think they're better than the coach and decide that they want to decide for the coach. And if the coach disagrees, and then the parents get mad, and I'm just sharing a bad. Yeah, that's actually really good sharing, Julie. This is how I do it. I'm just using my way, okay? Different friends here can use your own innovative way. There's no right or wrong method. I actually just made a Facebook Live on it. I just did a video on it and explained different things. And one of the sharing I said was, okay, I have some clients. I said the misconception. Misconception is when I have a client that's expert in one field. Say, for example, they're a lawyer, okay? They're a really successful lawyer, but they go and play tennis. The misconception is they think they're an expert in tennis, but they're an expert lawyer. That's a misconception. Now, just because you're an expert in law, on the sporting field, you're a baby, man. Sorry, you're a beginner. Sorry. This is true. It's true, right? So, and then they watch the video, and then they're not gonna tell you they agree, but they agree in their own, on their own time when they watch it. Oh, that makes sense. I don't have to tell them personally. If I tell them personally, they get angry. But I made a video saying it's a misconception, and so when they go view it, they'll start thinking, oh yeah, I actually sometimes do that. So that's just my way this is my way of doing it. So and also with the positioning, I get a lot of high tier that type of client that's really expert in something. But then I make sure they know their space, that when they're in the tennis field, sorry, your kid's probably more expert than you. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, there's just so much expert. Everybody's an expert, right? Yeah. And so you gotta make sure you do it in a more subtle way. And there's more strategies I can share with you guys. You gotta be innovative. Yeah. And I mean, I thank God for YouTube. Yeah, YouTube helped me so much. I've been very lucky. But 3 years ago, somebody told me to share my my messages through YouTube, and then 3 years later, I become YouTube partner. I mean, that's because I just got lucky with a mentor, and he's the law of attraction guy. Yeah, he's a monk sort of thing, and I've been very lucky with that. So that's why I'm here to share you guys. You guys should all do YouTube. You guys should all do YouTube. Okay, I know at the beginning it seems weird, but once you get used to it, it's crazy. Okay, so have courage. You're gonna have a lot of objections and criticisms and doubts, and people doubt you. The worst thing is when you doubt yourself. Okay, so that's why you gotta make sure you're very focused and you're very certain, so you can be disciplined. Okay, other people will definitely will have. There's also haters that will talk stuff, but you gotta make sure they drive fire for you and not divert you from your path. It's so important, guys. All right, and so those are the tips I have for you for discipline. This is one of my favorite ones, and he's my squash champion. He's our squash champion, and he's really good, nice guy. And finding a mentor is super, super important for us all. Unfortunately, now I can't go anywhere. I want to be on a plane to somewhere that I can see my mentors. I actually see my mentors once every year. I take them out to dinner and say thanks, and we discuss new things. But COVID made me stuck here and I can't move. But what can you do? So you can find this, online. I mean, right now we're talking, right? You can find ways to initiate the conversation online. A mentor that's someone that has so much more experience, and they've gone through so much more, and they're an expert in the field. You got to make sure the first thing I'll share with you guys is always look at the positives of each mentor, right? I mean, no one's perfect, okay? Right? No one's perfect. If someone says they're perfect, then they're not, right? And so when I look at our mentors, I always look what they're really good at, and I'll check if that's something I want to learn, but before I continue, I saw a long message here. Okay, Jenny says, okay, it's a really big challenge here in her place. Coaching our students really involve money to support the training needs, for sure. And frustrating, there's little financial support given from the school and office. Okay. Jenny, are you here? Okay, are you still here? Okay. Just support here. Okay, I need to focus. I need to hone in on Jenny's message here. Jenny, if you're here, say hello. Okay, guys. Money is a problem with everybody. I think. Here is the thing. There's two types. Let's look at two types. Okay. There's one type who wants to learn sport, is we call recreational, that learns once a week and 1 hour each time. Ones which really high performance, okay, and they gotta do a lot of training. Right? So you guys, it's easy to understand. High performance, you gotta train almost every day. But if you train every day, then you can't be paying high ticket, right? The rate has to be lower. But the thing is, here, if it's recreation, then some of them are usually the ones with a lot of the cash, right? Okay, so how do you balance it out? Okay, there's many ways to find funding. I'm just gonna give a sharing, or maybe half and half, right? you can, let's put it this way. You can ask, you can do a fundraiser, okay? And you can actually do an event and you tell everybody the cause. And in Jenny's case, in the chat box, her question is about the kids coaching, and it's about kids coaching and the schools. Now, if your contribution, you got to take the first step. We call it what is it? First gift and then later reward, sort of thing. You gotta take the first step, and it's not easy. You might have to look for some sponsors. If your contribution is big enough, then you will have people to support you. If you're asking the right people, you ask the right people though. You can't be asking the wrong people. That's my sharing. That's one of my sharings. Your contribution has to be meaningful, which it is, but if you're asking the wrong people, then it's not going to help. You gotta ask the right people. So, for example, if you ask like a huge apparel brand, maybe that can help. But well, let's elaborate on that later a little bit more on the toolbox section. Yeah. And I see a comment here. You guys are very good. You guys, it's really nice. You guys are really active in the chat box. That's nice. Coaches are given the event to coach with shallow background and turn some of the athletes. Okay. And okay, so let me continue here. So with mentor, you know, some mentors are just really awesome, but they're really busy. So what you got to do is you got to find a way that attracts their attention. Okay. Right now, for sure, it's through video. Okay, through online first. If you're especially if you're on lockdown, through your contribution, okay, contributing, then mentor would give you some time, and then you got to be prepared. Okay, you got to be prepared to do your questions and do your performance, so to speak, because they don't. If it's an expert mentor, they're very busy and they don't want to be somewhat wasting their time, right? They might think that, but some won't think that. So what happens is you got to do your homework. Okay, when they ask you a question, you got to make sure you can boom have the answer and more. So that's my strategy for you guys. Before you find your mentor, right? You got to do your homework. Yeah. So this is here. So guys, I want to say thank you for your time, and I hope my sharing was valuable for you guys, and I didn't make you guys fall asleep. Message must add my.
Thank you very much, Coach Henry, for this very significant discussion. Thank you also to our participants. That was just a small part of the 1.5 day of one-on-one with Coach Henry. An edited but longer version of this seminar will be posted in our Rise Up, Shape Up YouTube channel. So please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube and follow us on Facebook account.
We are happy to post here a feedback from our audience, Coach Jenny Brasula of Badminton.
Good day everyone, I'm Coach Jenny Brasula of Badminton, and I'm here to discuss briefly the impact of the 2021 Women's Leadership Training and Coaching Seminar to me. I am honored and deeply lucky enough to be part of this program because I was mentored by our greatest coach, Coach Patricia Puzon, and Coach Henry So in becoming a great coach, serving effectively and efficiently in the field of sports and as well as an individual. My first realization here is that first, we need to assess and acknowledge our strengths and weaknesses and able to move forward and deal with it accordingly. One's self-stability is very important in building mental toughness, able to decide confidently and effectively when challenges arise. Next is that we need to serve with dignity, integrity, and be accountable of our decisions and actions that we do. Next is able to create the adversity into an opportunity and serve better in the field of sports. My last and final realization here is that becoming a coach is not just a title, a designation, or a position. It's about creating impact, influences, and inspiration to our athletes. With that, thank you so much, Philippine Sports Commission, with this long-term development and progress, creating more empowered women of generations, teaching us to be more self-reliant, resilient, and confidently enough to serve our sports and our country wholeheartedly. Thank you so much.
Time is up for this week's Rise Up, Shape Up episode. Thank you everyone for your support. Thank you very much also to Athenaeum School for hosting today's episode. Rise Up, Shape Up is brought to you by the Philippine Sports Commission, Women in Sports. Again, this is your host, Coach Precious. Have a marvelous day, everyone.
Rise up and shake.